Alright guys, quick update here on a few of our favorite squeeze setups here at the moment, and it's been a pretty good week here so far. So one trade that we took yesterday and took profits here this morning was on CCJ, which is a uranium play. But good looking daily squeeze, you get your stacked EMAs here on the weekly and the daily charts, and you got the green 10x bars. So you got trend, structure, momentum, and then we got the buy signals here. So that was a pretty good trade overnight, and we took that off this morning for about a 60% return on the calls. Still a good structure, so it's going to remain on the watch list. If it could pull back into about 28 and change, we're going to look to jump right back in. So CCJ was good to us, and Altria MO has been really good to us. So we took profits on our last few trades here yesterday, but I think we've had a total of 4 trades here. We bought the dip, took profits on the pop, immediately bought the dip again, took profits the next morning, and then on this push, got rid of our calls and our call debit spreads. So I think Altria here on a dip back to about 53 to 52-ish. You look for a re-entry. But in terms of a few new ideas, as far as what's setting up right now, I still think you want to watch the energy sector. So we got some call debit spreads here on XLE, and we're looking for a push through $80. Great daily squeeze. We've had buy signals since early February, and you got your weekly daily stacked DMAs and the green 10x bars. Also important is the squeezes. So in addition to, here we go. In addition to the daily squeeze, it is a 4-hour, 2-hour, and a 60-minute. So if you check out the 4-hour squeeze, notice how the histogram isn't positive just yet. Right? So kind of like back here, get the 4-hour squeeze, but then you get the move once the histogram turns positive. Pretty good push. Once again, you got a 4-hour squeeze. Histogram turns positive, you get a push. So here we are again, brand new 4-hour squeeze. Might take a few days, might take a few weeks, but as soon as that histogram can turn positive, we're looking for a push here through $80. Now keep in mind with energy, it's a great trend, but if you look at the weekly chart, it's a little bit extended. So here's our game plan. We're going to keep on taking these daily squeezes looking for higher prices, but our exit is going to be on a close under the weekly 8 EMA, which is the blue moving average here. So the 8 EMA is basically like your momentum moving average. You get one pull back to the 8, it holds. Trend continues to get a few more tests here to 8 EMA. This continues to prove a support, but being a little bit extended here on the weekly chart, if we do get a close under the weekly 8 EMA, kind of sets us up here for a flush down to the weekly 21. Now I think the weekly 21 is going to be a great entry, but what I don't think is that we want to sit through that fade all the way down towards 70 to 65. So a good looking daily squeeze, we're looking for a push here into 80 and change, but if we get a close under that 8 EMA on the weekly, we're going to toss it and move on to the next one. Next setup here, guys, is DBA, which is the agriculture ETF. Right now, I think one of the better trends in the market, and we've had buy signals here since mid to early January. So good trend, brand new daily squeeze, get the stacked DMAs, the green 10x bars. We got some calls here looking for a push into about 22 and change, 22 and a half rather. So good structure, and if we do our squeeze check, locked and loaded, daily 4-hour, 2-hour, 60-minute, 30-minute, 15-minute. So that checks out for now. We're going to keep on hanging on tight, looking for a push. Next up, guys, is RTX, which is Raytheon. Now, Raytheon is in the same space as LMT, Lockheed Martin. Good trend, good structure, not the best entry. So Lockheed Martin has basically made the move we're typically looking for, which is the move from that 21 EMA into about 2 ATR. So it doesn't mean there's not more upside. And I'm pretty confident there's going to be some more upside, but not the best entry. But given that RTX is the same industry and the same structure, a bit of a better entry here today. So we did buy some calls on RTX, looking for a push into about 105, 106. Very nice daily squeeze, and you've got 3-day, 4-hour, and 2-hour squeezes in addition to the one here on the daily. So we're grabbing some calls here on Raytheon today. And keep in mind, we got earnings coming up all over the place. So, as an options trader, your strategy selection is really important right now. If you're going to try to play the push into the earnings announcement, just buy some calls. That way you can benefit from the rise in implied volatility. If you're trying to do a put credit spread, you probably want to go with an expiration a week or 2 weeks before earnings. So we grabbed some calls here today. Next up, guys, is NTR, which is Nutrien. Very good trend. Whole bunch of buy signals. We got the green lights on the weekly and the daily. And in addition to the daily squeeze, there's a 4-hour and a 2-hour. So no trade here just yet, but in terms of the structure, this should be good for a push into about 110. So we're going to keep our eyes on that one for tomorrow. Might jump on in. And the last name for you guys here is CF. Another good trend. Beautiful daily squeeze. And we have got 4-hour, 2-hour, 60-minute, 30-minute squeezes. No entry here, but if we can get a little dip, I would like to jump in looking for a push into about 110 and change. So there you have it, guys. We got CF on the radar, NTR on the radar. We picked up some RTX here today. We've got long calls on DBA, debit spreads on XLE, and we took profits this morning on CCJ, which we'll jump right back into on a dip. And we took profits yesterday on Altria, which we would love to jump right back into on a dip. So as you can see, there's some pretty good trends out there. Not in your S&P 500. They're not in your QQQ. They're not in your semiconductors, the financials, the industrials, the transports. It's not in big tech, but there's good structure and there's good trend out there if you know where to look. And a lot of it is in energy, natural gas and oil. If you look at the healthcare sector, we would love to buy a dip in healthcare, mainly on Pfizer. Good structure. Then you've got XLP, the consumer staples. Really good looking chart. We want to buy that on a dip. So in terms of XLP, we could just, again, jump right back into Altria. But you also have Costco, which is a beast. There's Walmart. Pretty beastly as well. And then you've got the material sector, XLB. Now, this might be setting up an entry. It ran pretty hard. Pulls back here to the 21. Got the stacked DMAs, all that good stuff. So in terms of some XLB names, there's NEM. Very solid. And then there's Nucor. Very solid as well. So that's what we're doing right now, guys. We're focusing on the good trend, the good structure, wherever it might be. The material sector, the consumer staples sector, the energy sector. Those are just a few spots. But I hope you all found this helpful. A little bit of a shorter video here tonight. But as always, if you're interested in trading these with me, check us out at simplertrading.com. I am in the options room Monday through Friday. And you can also check out my compounding growth mastery if you want to get a bit more action with me. But there you have it, guys. I'm going to let you go now. There is a John Carter webinar that is starting as we speak. And I am not known to miss a JC webinar. So I hope you all found this helpful. Hope you had a good week, and I'll talk to you tomorrow in the weekly recap video.